terlepas dari jurang resesi ekonomi setelah berhasil tumbuh positif.
Pemerintah melihat bahwa Q4 adalah potensi untuk kita membalikkan keadaan kembali. Kita memperkirakan
kunci dari kesuksesan hulu migas Indonesia ke depan ini apa, Pak?
Fleksibilitas fiskal yang akan dikeluarkan untuk menjaga keekonomian. Investor akan datang itu saja.
Oke, Pak.
Keekonomiannya terjamin.
Jadi dari kecil aku mulai deh bercita-cita untuk jadi pelaut, kerja di dekat laut, bisa memperkenalkan keindahan laut ke orang-orang.
Oke, luar biasa.
The distribution of cash social assistance had reached 95%. Wijaya Karya decided to increase the capital of its subsidiary. Hello, good evening. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions, such as physical distancing, wearing a face mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. This is Wicky Adrian, and of course, this is Market Headlines. Until early August 2021, the Ministry of Social Affairs claimed that the distribution of assistance is in the form of cash assistance had reached 95%, while for non-cash social assistance it had reached 89%.
Minister of Social Affairs Tri Risma Harini said that until early August 2021, the ministry had distributed cash social assistance funds of 95% of the total beneficiaries, which was given at 300,000 per month to 10 million recipients in the period of May and June, so that each received 600,000 rupiah. In addition, for other programs such as the Family of Hope program and non-cash food assistance, it has reached 89% specifically in Java. For this reason, the Ministry of Social Affairs continues to boost the distribution of aid to reach 100%.
Jadi begini, dalam rangka PPKM ini, itu memang ada yang kita bantu, kita percepat proses penyaluran bantuan sosial. Itu yang tetap. Contohnya misalkan PKH, kemudian BPNT atau sembako, kemudian, nah karena COVID ini, kemudian kita bantulah BST.
For information, for basic food cards, the government has prepared a budget of 200,000 rupiah per month for 18.8 million beneficiaries. From Jakarta, Ade Firmansyah for IDX Channel.
The extension of PPKM levels 4 to 2 in a too in a number of regions in Indonesia has received attention from economic observers. Observers consider that the government must recalculate the recipients of social assistance so that the distribution is right on target.
Economic observer Yusuf Randi emphasized that in the extension of PPKM levels 4 to 2, the government must recalculate social assistance recipients, especially those from the lower middle income group who are seen as highly affected. This recalculation can be done to increase the budget allocation and broaden the scope of the recipient community groups, as well as to maintain people's purchasing power.
Saya kira pemerintah tentu perlu melakukan rekalkulasi ulang ya, terutama untuk penyaluran bantuan perlindungan sosial untuk kelompok pendapatan menengah ke bawah. Karena dengan diperpanjangnya PPKM ini, kelompok inilah yang kemudian akan sangat terdampak ya dari restriksi pergerakan masyarakat yang dilakukan oleh pemerintah.
In addition, he stressed that the regional government must immediately distribute social assistance from the existing budget because the regional government is considered slow in distributing the budget that has been determined by the central government. Jakarta, Ade Firmansyah for IDX Channel.
The COVID-19 Handling Task Force asked the Provincial Health Office to quickly pursue vaccination targets for people who are vulnerable to infection, who do not have a citizenship identification number in order to surpass COVID-19 cases.
Spokesperson for the COVID-19 Handling Task Force, Wicky Adrian, asked the health officers at the provincial, city and district levels to pursue vaccination targets for people who do not have a citizenship identification number. The health office must cooperate with regional apparatus organizations to collect data for people with disabilities, indigenous peoples, prison residents, and people with social problems.
Kementerian Kesehatan sudah mengeluarkan surat edaran terkait pelaksanaan vaksinasi COVID-19 bagi masyarakat rentan dan masyarakat lainnya yang belum memiliki nomor induk kependudukan atau NIK. Terkait dengan surat edaran ini, maka Dinas Kesehatan di tingkat provinsi dan kabupaten kota diminta untuk segera melakukan koordinasi dengan organisasi perangkat daerah terkait.
Wicky added, supervision of health protocols and restrictions on population mobility must be increased in areas that have high active cases. IDX Channel reports.
Moving on to global update, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has said that the country's borders will remain closed until at least the end of the year. Meanwhile, oil giant Shell will pay a Nigerian community $111 million over an oil spill more than 50 years ago. More stories on today's International Minute.
New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has said that the country's borders will remain closed until at least the end of the year. She said an elimination strategy was the best way to keep COVID-19 out and the economy open. The Prime Minister also said New Zealand would move to a new individual risk-based model for quarantine-free travel from the start of next year. Google employees in the US who opt to work from home permanently may get a pay cut. The technology giant has developed a pay calculator that lets employees see the effects of working remotely or moving offices. Some remote employees, especially those with a long commute, could have their pay cut without changing address. Google has no plans at this time to implement the policy in the UK. Oil giant Shell will pay a Nigerian community $111 million over an oil spill more than 50 years ago. A spokesman said the payment would mark the full and final settlement to the Ejama Ebubu community over a spill during the 1967-1970 Biafran War. The company has maintained that the damage was caused by third parties. A Nigerian court fined Shell the equivalent of $41.36 million in 2010. But the company launched a number of unsuccessful appeals.
Samsung is hoping cheaper but more durable versions of its foldable phones will broaden the appeal of a high-concept design that so far fizzled with consumers. The electronics giant on Wednesday launched its effort to turn things around with two new products, designed to function as both a phone and, when unfolded outward on a hinge, a tablet. IDX Channel reports.
Market Headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Awalnya nggak langsung yakin, tapi setelah ikut 2 kali acara edukasi Bursa Efek, akhirnya tertarik juga.
Karena mudah, saya ajarkan ibu-ibu lain, sampai anak saya juga ikutan.
Selesai dagang, saya bawa 100.000 untuk nabung saham. Hasilnya jelas sekali.
Yuk kita nabung saham sekarang.
Nantikan IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021. Kamis pukul 8 malam.
Pemerintah semakin percaya diri mampu merealisasikan ekspektasi pertumbuhan yang tinggi.
Kita lihat dari PMI market, kita sudah mencapai yang tertinggi.
Kementerian Keuangan memastikan tidak akan mengenakan PPN pada barang kebutuhan pokok.
Berbeda ketika sembako ini sifatnya premium.
Pemerintah kembali memutuskan untuk memperpanjang pemberlakuan pembatasan kegiatan masyarakat atau PPKM skala mikro.
Welcome back. In launching the risk-based online single submission system aimed at ease of doing business, President Jokowi emphasized that he no longer wants to hear about bribery practices related to business licensing in Indonesia.
President Joko Widodo inaugurated the launch of a risk-based online single submission system, OSS, in electronically integrated business licensing service system. He said OSS is a very significant reform because it will rely on an online system that is integrated with a risk-based paradigm. The president also appealed to entrepreneurs and SMEs to take advantage of these services. President Jokowi also emphasized that he did not want bribes related to business permits. He even will directly monitor the implementation of the service.
Saya tidak mau lagi mendengar ada kesulitan yang dihadapi para pengusaha. Saya tidak mau lagi mendengar ada suap. Semua harus dilakukan secara terbuka, secara transparan, dan memudahkan para pengusaha. Jika ada aparat pemerintah yang tidak bersih, yang mencoba-coba, laporkan pada saya.
He explained that through this system, the types of permits would be adjusted according to the level of risk. Permits between micro, small and medium enterprises and large business will also be different. IDX Channel reports.
In order to encourage interest and provide certainty for investors as well as encourage economic recovery, the government has officially launched an integrated system in business licensing, online single submission. So how is the implementation of this latest system in facilitating business licensing and encouraging ease of doing business? Let's take a look on the first graphic in today's infographic session. The first one is, of course, about online single submission itself. The Ministry of Investment, or BKPM, provides two operational models, online and semi-online. Uneven electricity and internet conditions in various regions are the main obstacles. And the presence of OSS does not necessarily eliminate regional authority in business licensing. In building the OSS system, BKPM cooperates with the telecommunication company Indosat. To date, there are 18 ministries and institutions connected to the system. The OSS system will link 4 levels of licensing, namely licensing at the district or city level, provincial scope, ministry and agency scope, as well as the central licensing system, which is managed directly by BKPM. And talking about business licensing, what is the actual score and ranking of the ease of doing business in Indonesia? Let's take a look at this graphic. This is the data from 2016 to 2020. As you can see, the score and the ranking is quite fluctuative. The score in 2020, it was on the level of 69.9, but in terms of rankings, Indonesia sit in number 73. Pretty much the same position also being occupied by Indonesia in 2019, in the same position, 73rd. And the World Bank ranks Indonesia as 73rd in the world in terms of ease of doing business. Indonesia is below several other Southeast Asian countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, and Vietnam. Regarding the ease of doing business, President Joko Widodo stated that he would continue to cut regulations that could hinder business and investment licensing so that the business climate would be more conducive. Then what are the main indicators of ease of doing business in Indonesia? Let's see the details in the next graphic. This is top 6 ease of doing business Indonesia indicators. The first one is electric access, and then starting a business, payment of taxes, loan access, minority investor protection, ease of doing business, and the indicators or the level of the achievement in ease of doing business in Indonesia in 2020. As you can see, the number is on the right side. The ease of doing business permits is also carried out through the elimination of licensing fees for entrepreneurs with small capital of 500 million to 5 billion rupiah. This is done by providing subsidies for the issuance of SNI and halal certification by the Ministry of Finance. Regarding the ease of doing business, several business fields are included in the investment priorities. For clarity, let's take a look at the next graphic. This is criteria for investment priority business fields. The first one is national strategic program or project, capital intensive, labor intensive, high technology, pioneer industry, export oriented, and oriented in research, development, and innovation activities. Finance Minister claimed that the existence of online single submission would help small entrepreneurs get business licenses more easily. Sri Mulyani said that small entrepreneurs with a capital of less than 5 billion rupiah were also exempt from licensing fees. And hopefully, the presence of the system can be an answer to the complexity of the business licensing bureaucracy and, of course, invite more investors to Indonesia. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.
Nantikan IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021, Kamis pukul 8 malam.
Benarkah tren transisi ke energi baru dan terbarukan tidak membuat industri energi fosil lantas surut? Seperti apa dampaknya terhadap sektor migas?
Turunnya atau rendahnya harga minyak dan gas yang sangat drastis turunnya, adanya pandemi yang membuat terbatasnya pergerakan.
Langkah yang dilakukan apa nih Pak?
Hingga hari ini saya kira brand hari ini sekitar 55. Ini sesuatu yang positif untuk industri. Yang itu kira
dari kecil aku udah banyak main di laut, banyak belajar diving, surfing, snorkeling, free diving gitu. Jadi hidupku tuh emang udah banyak dikelilingin laut gitu, bisa memperkenalkan keindahan laut ke orang-orang.
Suka dan dukanya apa sih, Diandra?
Oke, suka dukanya yang paling utama pasti dengan adanya pandemi ini ya. Akhirnya sejak pandemi kita mikir apakah kita harus berhenti nanti lanjutin lagi setelah pandemi atau kita lanjutin terus nih.
Ketika PPKM darurat ini ternyata menekan pendapatan masyarakat.
Proses penilaian IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi melihat beberapa indikator, diantaranya adalah dampak dari inovasi terhadap perusahaan, kemudian sustainability, mampu terapan perusahaan, serta kita melihat dari sisi originalitas dari ide itu. Pemenang-pemenang dari ajang ini tidak berhenti untuk melakukan inovasi, melainkan terus mendorong inovasi itu untuk selalu menjadi yang terbaik, selalu menjadi yang terbaru, dan untuk mengantisipasi perubahan yang ada di dalam lingkungan bisnis. IDX Channel Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021, Kamis pukul 8 malam.
Mendekati 800 triliun itu rakyat mestinya mengawasi.
We're on the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, JSI was opened at the level of 6,092.24. Then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 6,121.54. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,139.65. In short, JSI went up 0.84%. And we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got infrastructure as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 2.72%. Industry went up 2.59%, and we got technology as the leader of the weakening trend that went down 1.62%, and health went down 0.6%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBKP went down 2.59% to the level of 595 per share. BBYB went up 9.9% to the level of 1,610 per share. Arto went up 4.38% to the level of 16,700 per share. Antam went up 2.56% to the level of 2,400 rupiah per share. The top losers for today's trading, we got Buka, went down 6.76% to the level of 965 rupiah per share. Agro went down 2.64% to the level of 2,210 rupiah per share. And BABP went down 6.92% to the level of 498 rupiah per share. And BBRI went down 0.26% to the level of 3,810 rupiah per share. And we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar, open at the level of 14,383. Rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,421. In summary, rupiah went down 0.38%. State-owned listed company in construction sector, Wijaya Karya, decided to increase the capital of its subsidiary Wijaya Karya Realty to 775 billion rupiah. Such step is in accordance with the plan of integration and increasing ownership in the number of hotels currently owned by SOEs.
State-owned listed company in construction sector, Wijaya Karya, decided to increase the capital of its subsidiary Wijaya Karya Realty to 775 billion rupiah. Such step is in accordance with the plan of integrations and increasing ownerships in the number of hotels currently owned by SOEs. According to Wika's Company Secretary Mahendra Wijaya, the paid-up capital is placed through the issuance of new shares in Wijaya's deposits other account. These transactions is the additional participations to maintain the percentage of ownership. Furthermore, Mahendra mentioned the considerations of this transaction is to increase Wijaya Karya Realty capital, which will be used for integrations and increasing share ownerships of hotel companies or purchase of SOE-owned hotel assets. IDX Channel reports.
Diagnos Laboratorium Utama with a stock code of DGNS, a clinical laboratory under the business of listed company, Bunda Medik posted a net income of 168.8 billion rupiah in the first semester of 2021, or grew 280.8% year-on-year.
Diagnos Laboratorium Utama with stock code DGNS, a clinical laboratory, posted a net income of 168.8 billion rupiah in the first semester of 2021, or grew 280.8% year-on-year. Meanwhile, the company's net profit shot up 460.9% year-on-year, or 46.1 billion rupiah in the first half of this year. President Director of DGNS, Mesha Rizal Sini, in a written statement said that in the first semester of 2021, the company had carried out 118,865 PCR tests or COVID-19 tests. This number grew by 713% year-on-year from the first semester of 2020, as many as 14,619 tests. In addition, routine tests other than PCR also grew 79% year-on-year. Managing Director of Diagnostic Main Laboratory, Dennis Jacobus, said that this capacity was supported by 2 PCR laboratories located in Jakarta and Denpasar. The laboratory is affiliated with the Ministry of Health for the results of PCR and antigen swab examination as flight requirements. In Bali, there was an increase of up to 1,000% from 30 PCR tests per day to 300 tests per day. IDX Channel reports.
The multi-finance listed company Mandala Multifinance recorded net income value of 189.29 billion in June 2021. The value grew by 54.27% year-on-year compared to the same period of last year, value of 122.7 billion.
Mandala Multifinance recorded net income value of 189.29 billion in June 2021. To improve the performance of the company, Mandala Multifinance efforts to increase the number of customers even in the middle of the PPKM extension. Mandala Finance targets the number of customers to grow by 20% in the third quarter of 2021 compared to growth in the previous quarter. Mandala Finance recorded 487,000 number of active customers until the first half of 2021. While Mandala's total customers was in 24 years established, reaching 8.5 million customers, most of them are outside of Java. One of Mandala Finance strategies to increase the number of customers is to make Mandala partners that actually as an education agent and sales channel in the field. Mandala gives appreciations to Mandala partners by providing rewards in the form of gold bull up to cash for achieving partners throughout August to September 2021. IDX Channel reports.
Step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation, and here is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news closed our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. As the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, keep protecting your family by following the health protocols, wearing face masks, keep your distance, and stay away from crowds. Wash your hands through running water, and also continue to support the vaccination program and to accelerate the creation of herd immunity. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Jadi dari kecil aku mulai deh bercita-cita untuk jadi pelaut, kerja di dekat